Hi, in this video we're going to look at evaluating functions when given a variable to fill in. So when you look at number 1, f of x equals 3x squared minus 4x minus 9 at x equals 2. So what I want to do on this one is I'm going to replace everywhere I see an x value, I want to replace that with my x value of 2. So each of these x's are going to be replaced with the x equals 2. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what that looks like. So I'm going to take my function, I'm going to replace the x with a 2, equals 3 times, I'm going to replace this x with a 2 squared, minus 4, I'm going to replace this x with a 2, minus 9. So each one of those x's I'm going to replace with the 2. Okay, so f of 2 equals 3 times 2 squared minus 4 times 2 minus 9. So then I just need to evaluate this. F of 2 just stays exactly how it is the whole time. So then it's going to be 3 times 2 squared, that is 4. So it's really 4 times 3 there, minus 4 times 2 is 8, minus 9. So f of 2 is equal to 3 times 4, which is 12, minus 8, minus 9. And I can put that in my calculator. 12 minus 8 minus 9 gives me a value of negative 5. So f evaluated at 2 is a negative 5. So I'm going to say negative, and then the 5 I can put it anywhere I want to put it in here. I'm just going to put it right next to, so it just says negative 5. Negative 5. And again, I could put that 5 anywhere in here that I want to put it. Okay? Now, here's kind of the cool thing about the graphing calculators. I can actually just take this piece here and evaluate it as is. Okay? And really, not necessarily, we don't want to think about that f evaluated at 2. We want to think about this side here where I've plugged in to the equation. Watch what happens in my calculator. Okay? I'm going to escape from there. I'm going to type in 3 parentheses and then that 2, close the parentheses, squared minus 4 parentheses 2 parentheses minus 9. So you can see this side right here looks exactly like what I am evaluating. I have my 3, my 2, my squared, plus, oops, I don't have a plus, right? I have accidentally put a plus, and it should be. So it's always good to go back and look and make sure that we didn't do the wrong thing. Now remember, you have a negative and you have a minus. This one is a minus. If you get them wrong, it'll give you an error. 4 to negative 9. So it's always good to just kind of look up here and make sure that you typed in the correct thing. And when I hit enter, it gives me that same value of negative 5. So that's kind of the really great thing about these calculators. Okay, so let's look at the next one. On the next one, I want to replace the x. Everywhere I have an x, I'm going to replace it with a negative 10. So I'm going to put it here, I'm going to put it here, and I'm going to put it here. Okay, so when I write my equation, I'm going to have f, or no, we're not an f, we are an h, which is fine. That just means it's a different name for the function. H of x equals negative, and notice I'm going to put a parentheses where that x is, so when I fill it in, I can make sure I'm applying that negative to what it is, plus 2, close parentheses, open parentheses, a parentheses for that x, minus 15, close parentheses. And I'm replacing the x with the negative 10. Negative 10, negative 10, negative 10. Okay, so if I was going to go through and solve this, negative 10 equals, right here I've got negative, negative 10. So that's really a positive 10 plus 2. And then here, this is just a negative 10. So really it's a negative 10 minus 15. I'm going to combine those like terms and get 10 plus 2 is 12. And negative 10 minus 15. Again, if you have a hard time with positives and negatives, this is important. Don't be afraid to use your calculator. So I'm going to do a negative 10 because it's out in front. So negative 10. And then this is going to be a minus 15. Minus 15 gives me a negative 25. So again, don't be afraid to use your calculator when you're adding and subtracting with negatives, because I know sometimes that can be tricky. 12 times negative 25 gives me a value of negative 300. So when I bubble this in, negative 300. So I have my negative 300 right there. Okay. Again, the bonus with the calculator like this is I could have just typed in from the very beginning. I could have just typed this into the calculators. It's a lot of parentheses to keep track of, so you have to be careful. Parentheses, negative, parentheses, negative 10, parentheses, plus 2, close parentheses, open parentheses, negative 10, close parentheses, minus 15, close parentheses. And then just double check. I've got parentheses, minus, 10, parentheses, plus 2, parentheses, whew, minus 10, parentheses, minus 15, parentheses. And when I hit enter, I do get my negative 300. Okay, so it's a really good way to check. If you feel confident, you can go straight to that in the calculator. So for example, on this last one, especially when I see this fraction here, what this is telling me, when I see the g of x there, or g parentheses, this is telling me replace what's in the parentheses with that negative 3/4. So that's telling me what they want me to replace the x with. It's just another way to say replace the x with that negative 3/4. Okay, so when I look at my equation, g of x equals 2x squared plus 7. And then I'm going to fill in to those x spots the negative 3/4. Negative 3/4, negative 3/4. And then we can say, all right, I just need to take this and put this in my calculator, just like how I see it. So I'm going to do 2 parentheses, negative 3 divided by 4. That makes my fraction. Close the parentheses, squared, plus 7. So I've got my 2 times my negative 3/4 squared plus 7. That's what I have here. I hit enter, and I get 65/8, which I can see is my answer choice for B. Okay, so again, our graphing calculators are super helpful. If you have any questions or still confused about something we did in this lesson, make sure you check with your teacher or with your tutor. Thank you so much for watching.